love my country and love the people.
It's Philippines!
Hindi mo mabibigil ang sambayan ng Pilipino!
Time to know the news of the week. I'm Hannah Tabios. This is the MB Rundown. The Interagency Task Force for the Management of Emerging Infectious Diseases has finalized the protocols for the repatriation of overseas Filipinos from Hubei province in China. In Thursday's press briefing, Health Secretary Francisco Duque III announced that the athletes' village at the New Clark City in Capas, Tarlac will be the final quarantine area for the repatriated Filipinos. The use of the facility used during the Southeast Asian Games was offered by the management of the Bases Conservation and Development Authority. Duque said the repatriated Filipinos will be oriented on the quarantine process while on board the aircraft and will be asked to fill out health cards. The centralized processing of all immigration documents will also be done simultaneously. Upon arrival at the Clark International Airport, the Bureau of Quarantine will screen all passengers. Those who have manifested symptoms will be immediately admitted as patients under investigation or PUIs at identified hospitals, while those who are asymptomatic will be transported to the quarantine facility in Capas, Tarlac. Other concerned agencies will also be in charge of disinfecting the returnees' luggages as well as the plane and transport vehicles used. At the quarantine facility, one room will be allotted for one person, but a room can accommodate a family of 3. Duque said everything will be provided from packed meals, hygiene kits, and even entertainment materials to combat boredom. The quarantine period will take 14 days. Upon completion, they will be discharged from the facility, which was be facilitated by the Overseas Workers Welfare Authority in coordination with the Department of Foreign Affairs. They are expected to arrive in the country on early morning Sunday. The Labor Department clarified that the death of a Filipina domestic helper in Dubai, United Arab Emirates is not a case of novel coronavirus. In a statement, Labor Chief Silvestre Bello III said the confirmatory tests conducted by the Pathology and Genetics Department of the Dubai Health Authority on the victim's specimen yielded negative of the novel coronavirus. The statement came after the Labor Department received the report from the country's labor attaché in Dubai. Bello also apologized to the government of Dubai for the confusion brought by the announcement yesterday. Meanwhile, the labor chief also said the agency will assist the Filipino seafarer who tested positive for the 2019 nCoV in Japan. The Agriculture Department assured the public that the agency is well prepared to guard the country against bird flu or the avian influenza virus. Department of Agriculture spokesperson Noel Ocampo Reyes said the ban against poultry imports from bird flu-hit country China remains in effect since it was issued in 2004. Hence, there is no need to issue a formal reminder as inspections are still being conducted by the Bureau of Customs or BOC. Agriculture Secretary William Dar said the agency's Bureau of Animal Industry has been conducting twice a year surveillance in high-risk areas and traditional destinations of migratory birds on top of the regular tests on birds intended for local transport and trade. Dar said the country remains bird flu-free amid the avian influenza outbreak. On Monday, China's Ministry of Agriculture and Rural Affairs reported an outbreak of a highly pathogenic strain of H5N1 bird flu at a farm in Shaoyang City in Hunan Province. 4,500 chickens out of the 7,850 have died of the bird flu, but the authorities have culled around 17,000 following the outbreak. Instead of a fancy celebration, the Manila Bulletin Publishing Corporation celebrated its 120th founding anniversary by extending aid to the victims of the Taal disaster in Batangas province. The Bayanihan spirit was captured in photos while showing the MB employees, led by our very own President Dr. Emilio Yap III, going out of their way to help hundreds of residents in different towns in Batangas. The company gave truckloads of various relief goods, from beddings to consumable goods. The Manila Bulletin was founded on February 2, 1900 and began as a shipping journal. Aside from keeping the public abreast of the latest stories through its news daily and other print media, the company has evolved into a multi-platform media organization that shares different narratives relevant to the Filipino people. The bid to remove U.S. President Donald Trump from his office is now over after the Senate found him not guilty in his impeachment trial. The U.S. Senate, which which is dominated by Trump's fellow Republicans, voted to acquit him on both charges of abuse of power and obstruction of Congress. During his State of the Union address, House Speaker Nancy Pelosi ripped up her copy of Trump's speech. In an ambush interview, Pelosi said Trump's speech is a manifesto of mistruths. Prior to her surprising action, Trump appeared to snub Pelosi's handshake before his speech. The incident came after the U.S. House of Representatives, led by Pelosi, approved the articles of impeachment on December 18 last year. Meanwhile, these are the other top news of the week.
Education Secretary Leonard Briones clarified that the Palarong Pambansa 2020 will not be postponed as the event will officially open in May. Briones said the department will issue a memorandum through its website giving all the details on the postponement of specific national DepEd events usually held in February. These include the National Science and Technology Fair, National Festival of Talents, and the National Schools Press Conference. The House Committee on Population and Family Relations approved bills proposing the legalization of divorce in the country. The House panel unanimously endorsed the passage of the measures and decided to create a technical working group to consolidate the three bills. But the Catholic leaders hit the lower chamber for the approval of the measures. The whistleblowing Chinese doctor who raised the alarm about the coronavirus has died early morning Friday. He was 34. Li Wenliang was infected of the deadly virus while he was also working to fight the outbreak in Wuhan Central Hospital. Li warned his colleagues on social media December last year about the mysterious virus that would become epidemic, but he was detained by the Chinese authorities for allegedly spreading rumors.
Here's a quick recap of the MB Rundown for today, February 7. The Interagency Task Force for the Management of Emerging Infectious Diseases finalizes the protocols for the repatriation of overseas Filipinos from Hubei province in China. The Labor Department clarifies that the death of a Filipino domestic helper in Dubai is not a case of novel coronavirus. The Agriculture Department assures the public that the agency is ready to guard the country against bird flu. The Manila Bulletin Publishing Corporation celebrates its 120th founding anniversary by giving aid to Taal victims, and U.S. Senate acquitted President Donald Trump in his impeachment trial. And that's the MB Rundown. I'm Hannah Tabius.